Welcome. This is the Simply King podcast. And it's your boy Rodney Perry King himself. And you just tuned into the Soulfully Conscious podcast for humans, simply being humans. And today is yet again a special one. I have here with me a guest that I'm so glad that I was able to collaborate with her, you know what I'm saying, earlier this year. I think it was a great episode. And I think something that, definitely sticks to your ribs, you feel me? So make sure you go check that out too. But today I have here with me documentarian, director, filmmaker, photographer, multi-hyphenate, super multi-hyphenate. You know what I'm saying? I have here with me, and I might say your last name wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. And I have here with me Chicago, born and raised, Chels Sincerray.
Hold on, you was there though.
I was close.
Like immediately, I felt that confidence. Okay,
I did.
Literally, think of sincere and Ray. Literally. So if you had a little dictionary, you know how they do the little phonics of words.
Yeah.
Literally, put a dot in between sincere and Ray.
Sincere Ray.
Come on.
I like that too. That's a name. Ooh, that's a mean name. That is cologne. That is parfum. That is a lot. That is a close lot. That's a good name. I'm telling you. But no, Chels, I appreciate you. In addition to all those multi-hyphenates, another hyphenate, which is how we were able to collaborate, is also the Invisible Radio podcast. Make sure you check that out, streaming everywhere. Check out our episode where we was talking about the throat chakra and a number of other things. I think y'all will really, really, truly enjoy that. And we both, have probably been continuously, utilizing our throat chakras, probably just in terms of creativity since the last time we spoke. And so I really want to get into you. Like I said, born and raised in Chicago. What side of Chicago did you grow up on?
Yeah. So we talking the southeast end. So we got politics of the south side, and then we got the southeast side, and then we got people that just say east side. I'm literally southeast. So the hundreds, more so like Pullman, Roseland area. That's where I grew up. So I would say the world is knowing the national, the National Railroad over there by Pullman area. That's what it's really known for. But to be very honest, I think just growing up in that area, I don't even really take shit like that serious, which was bad growing up until now realizing, damn, people are actually touring the Pullman neighborhood in 2023.
Yes.
Like I'm on my way to Potbelly and I see a whole little, crew I don't even want to say the race, but we got our little crew.
Yeah.
In Pullman, and we got different crew and cliques in Roseland. So, yeah.
That's interesting because I think so much of America is that way. Like there are these attractions, natural formations, so many things that black people have a different context for than they do. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in the South and not too far away from the Delta. There was always a certain idea about the Delta, while white people in most cases will literally see that as oh my God, it's near the Mississippi and it's something to do and da da da. It's no, just work. Yeah. There's a bunch of people who might work over there. It's just a landmark. You got to go down there by the Delta and then turn around and then you get where you need to go. In the same way, in so many other black neighborhoods, you could literally be living in the probably. Especially where train tracks are, and this is not to get into too deep of a tangent, but where train tracks are in a lot of black neighborhoods, 9 times out of 10, especially if there's a train station nearby, where those trains are, you talking about there is a plethora of dollars, of commerce, of money, all in your neighborhood at this time when those things be there. But look at how everything else is around it. You know what I'm saying? But that's why they use train transportation to transport things, because it's a lot safer managed than just put it on the road. You know what I'm saying? Literally, I had an account for Swisher Sweets at my old job, and they literally do it. They use trains because niggas was robbing the Swisher Sweet trucks.
They know the truck. They know the truck on the road past.
It's let's go ahead and run it up. My family ain't gonna need no blunts. My family ain't gonna need no blunts for the rest of our life. Because if you still a 40,000 pounds, ain't no way you can. You more than a store. You a superstore.
You Sam's Club, bro.
For real, and you'll never run out. You'll never run out. 40,000 pounds. That means one pallet be like a few thousand on its own. So it's like, and that's just one swisher. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like maybe just one car too, if that. You know
and that's it. That's it. But it's crazy. It's crazy. But no.
Yeah.
I feel like the reason why I like to, especially when I interview people from Chicago, is because I know how. I think I lived there for so long, and it's had such an impact on me that I think I know kind of what the people from Chicago care. Like if they listening, what they care about.
No, that is.
They care about what neighborhood you're from.
That part. We don't give a fuck what train.
What high school, right? What high school you went to, and you know what I'm saying? And who got better chicken, Remus or goddamn Sharks or Harold's? Which one is it?
You said the main three.
You know?
I feel like my best answer to all of that, as a person that don't even eat chicken no more, swear to God, my best answer is literally your neighborhood, right? Where you live is where you're going to root for that one the most. Like, if you got more Uncle Remus locations around your house, of course you're going to like Uncle Remus.
Of course.
If you got more Harold's around your spot, of course you're going to throw shade if you see an Uncle Remus if you go on the west side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you got a Sharks literally next door to your gas station or your corner store, of course you're going to say Sharks is your favorite.
Facts.
It's just like, you know what I'm saying? If you like lemon pepper or mild sauce, your taste going to automatically be different. No shade.
It's peculiar, and I think it's like such a microcosm of. I think Chicago is the best microcosm of Black America in a lot of ways because of the diversity of thought and the diversity of how people show up. Like, you got so many different types of people in Chicago. Like, from not only, I think a lot of people assume, watch shows and movies that have came out recently and like draw this real general idea of what Chicago is, but it ain't just gangsters. You got some artsy ass niggas in Chicago. Yeah. You got some real like alt type niggas who
it was the emphasis, but seriously though.
Alts. These are alt blacks. You know what I'm saying? They going to Reggie's to listen to niggas that you never thought that you never would go to pull up for.
Riviera and Aragon, okay?
You feel me? They going over there to listen to somebody you would never put the ox to. You feel me? Never.
No, that's real.
But like that, but they also are your cousin. Like, they also are they might be all or whatever, but they probably going at some point y'all gonna cross. Y'all can go y'all both gonna go to the same chicken spot, or y'all got the same grandma or auntie that y'all go see. Either way, and I think that represents so much of what, Chicago, what America is and what Black America is. You got grandparents who maybe not from or got a different type of story and generation than you. So many different things. So it's interesting to me. What would you say, how has like having an upbringing of Chicago kind of affected your overall kind of your identity? Let's start there in terms of like how your own identity is impacted by being from Chicago.
Absolutely. I feel like it's layers to that, because when you think about first and foremost class, when you think about socioeconomic shit that you are born into, right? When you think about even just the history of where you grew up, shit. That can break down even more. Like, I feel like even everything what I'm saying is so broad, but just to get even more deeper in that question, I feel like it really just hit me on the mental level as I got older. I started to realize, one, what my identity is just through me loving myself around all of the shit that I did not have any control over. So to just be able to tap into myself and love myself more in the midst of so much shit that was trying to control me, that was trying to shape me, that was trying to damn near plot my life. Like, it was some times where I'm like, yo, hold on, wait a minute. I'm doing the math, and I'm like, these niggas just tried it. You know what I'm saying? I had to take in and understand the amount of control that I have over myself and my life to understand my identity, if that makes sense. Because once I have the narrative, once I have the pen and the paper, big dog, can't nobody stop me.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
Even just my identity as a queer, trans, non-binary person, right? Understanding the sensitivity of pronouns in Chicago. Like, what I'm not gonna do is fight over letting you know what my pronouns are, right? I'm gonna let the knowledge and I'm gonna let the love like exist just by how you are as a person and just understand that boundary immediately. Whether it be in a personal setting, whether that be in a professional setting, whether that be in just public setting. You know what I'm saying? Like to know that that was all three P's, that's crazy. But like public, professional, and private, and what is it? Like
you smoking this?
Like public
you
setting.
It. You smoking?
You know what I'm saying?
You right?
No, I ain't even smoked yet the whole time.
No, I'm saying you. That was it. That was good. That was good.
So
you laying that shit down.
Real quick. But yeah, it's real. I feel like just overall, my identity in Chicago was at first controlled in so many layers.
Yeah.
Until I got older and I realized what the fuck I got control over, and that's me and my life. So look at me now. The fact that you was just saying all that shit, bro, that I do, I'm over here like it's still so much more that I haven't tapped into. I feel like I'm just honing in those titles because I've carried that with me for so long.
Yeah, that's
like it's
that was your
so
intro.
much shit ahead. I ain't even knocked on that door yet.
Yeah, and you know, I'm really, I think I definitely am drawn to people who are, you know, polymaths in their own making. You know what I'm saying? Have these multi things, because I think when you look at the people who are some of the greatest at whatever it is that they became great at, but by the time their story is said and done, there's like a bunch of things they also are known for. You know what I'm saying? If they are fortunate to live a long life and reach that highest, you know, sense of what their potential is. Oh yeah, you might have known them for music, but like they also are like 10 other things that people forget about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people forget that they did music because of how grand everything else is.
Exactly. The grandness of it, but then too, it's also about, I've learned just like how you live and leave relationships with people. Like how you live through relationships with people and leave. And when I say relationships, I'm not even just talking about on a personal level of like intimate shit, but like even just how we started, right? Rodney? Or just, for example, of somebody that I met through, say, doing my podcast, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, hold on, you do what else? Like when you understand that the relationships can build and continue compared to just only being transactional or only being for the sake of what you want it to be, you have endless opportunities of anybody that you come across with. So understanding that multifaceted really just builds with your people and, you know what I'm saying, your skills at the same time. You got to just know how to move with it.
I agree.
And be smart with it.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. And I think that, you know, that's was real poignant to say. And I definitely want to point out, you know, I do believe that it's a growing knowledge of, you know, understanding and making space for people's identity, no matter how complex it may seem to you as the person who may be receiving someone. I think that for me, especially like just for me as a like cis hetero man and all these various things, that a lot of these things don't really activate me like I think a lot of other men. You know, I think a lot of other men are immediately activated because they feel like there's this grouping, or they feel like there's this weird force of things that's happening.
They feel like.
And I think that what I always try to say to people when I speak to those things is like, understand something. Somebody made up what it is that you do follow, and that you didn't have a choice in that. Like somebody told you that this is what this is and this is what this ain't, and so on and so on and so forth, and you went with that and you never questioned that, and that's not something that you're bothered with. And you're now wanting and desiring other people to fit in the boxes that you feel like you've already opted into. And the fact of the matter is, life can't be this narrow. Life can't be this, you know, streamlined, because if that was the case, all of us all had to do was go with whatever they said we should go with on that punk ass test when we was young, saying you'll be good at whatever random thing that might not have been anything that nobody wanted to do, but it was hella practical. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
If we just would have went with that, just because we showed some promise in it at 9, like, oh yeah, you would be a good politician, you would be a good, a craftsman, if you will, and da 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 da. And we just chose practicality, and we all out here doing all this other bullshit, and we can have all the money we need and do all the things we want and show up in a happy way. If it was just that simple, trust me, the world would be a whole different place. But that's not the case.
It would be on some like full Price is Right, choose your door, because behind every door is gonna be
everything.
The most glorious. Like, come on, G. At this point, I'm laughing and I'm leaving the studio because ain't none of this shit real.
Come on now, like this is it's layers of like oppression and bigotry are things that exist by way of people not understanding the boxes that they've opted themselves to be in. And I think that that's really what it is. Like the energy is, and I always say this anytime there's some like, you know, massive phobias that kind of go viral moments online, is I always say that like, y'all niggas are really afraid of freedom. Like y'all and y'all don't really realize that is what you are hating right now. You're not hating this trans person. You're not hating this gay man. You're not hating this lesbian. You're not hating the idea of what you believe a particular lifestyle or choices are. You are hating freedom. Like you don't like the idea that somebody's choosing to do something that you don't really feel like either relates to you or connects with you. But to me, it's like, oh, if there's a way that a person can show up that is out of the norm, then maybe I can look at my life and see what type of things can I actually do differently and not be a part of this kind of status quo situation. I think it releases you. It makes you feel a lot happier about your day to day if you don't know that you are like following this quote unquote script to the T. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think a lot of people just don't know how to be in that and how to live in that and like feel comforted in the idea that like you are able and capable of living a life and creating the world that you want to create.
Absolutely. I mean, to hit you, and to hit that real quick on freedom, right? Like I saw this quote on social media. You know, Instagram be hilarious, but it really just feeds off of what you give attention to. Like your Instagram actually can be lit. I'm gonna say that again. So Instagram can actually be lit. Depending on your content, depending on your followers, depending on what you look at on the regular. And I am blessed to say that every time I refresh my page, I'm coming across something that's either on some dog shit that's therapeutic as hell, or some real motivational as like coaching. I'm gonna shout out Myron. I'm gonna shout out. I'm looking right at her, the pastor. I'm looking right at her face. I cannot get her name out. But I shout out even just like life coach, spiritual life people that I've came across on Instagram. But it's just one quote. In other words, when you are visibly queer, you are choosing your freedom and your peace, right, before your safety. And that's deep as fuck.
That's deep as fuck.
When you think about the intensity, you feel me? When you think about your freedom, to be very honest, that's already going to protect you way more than what you think is quote unquote safe.
Facts. That's literally. So facts. That's so facts. I think that, I don't know, to me, I think that was another interesting thing that I noticed to speak to the diversity of, you know, Chicago being a microcosm of African American just culture in general, is that the amount, like the large amount of like in levels that there are to kind of, you know, the queer communities within Chicago. You know, I think any place or any place that is kind of the, you know, recognized as a safe haven of some sort, who has like some type of district or whatever, I've always thought it was really interesting. But more than anything, the fact that people have had either experience or stories or something to say and have been around it in some way, shape, or form, from the context of like how, you know, how house music, how, you know, what house music means to everybody in a universal context, and how like that is an intersection of so many things. And like you really can't get away from that. I literally just commented on my boy, shout out to Marquise from Philly. He has a podcast, and he like had a clip on TikTok where him and his guest was talking about like he was like a bunch of, he was like, look at Prince. He was like, look how Prince showed up, and like nobody was ever, you know, about to just, you know, keep staying on this. Like nobody really ever stayed on the train of questioning sexuality because you were impressed by who he was. You were impressed by something about him. And I think that for a lot of people, it's hard for them to understand like, oh, you are showing up exactly how you are. And I think that he's like one of the biggest exceptions to the rule. He's one of the biggest exceptions to it all, because he very much does exactly what he wants to do. showed up exactly how he wanted to, and some of his fans are the most misogynistic and homophobic people ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, they always are very much into the idea of, like, you know, a man shows up like this and a man does this. That pause generation of people, I really believe that they are just unknowingly misunderstanding the selective nuance that they're using to understand and accept somebody as Prince, as somebody that they can emulate or look up to in some way, shape, or form, but also disregarding so many people who show up in a different type of way. You know what I'm saying? It's intriguing. Now, to me, I think that, you know, the selective nuance that happens because of people like I said, Prince has these very misogynistic, like, super fans, like the pause generation of men who are like 45 and up right now love Prince, swear by Prince. That is their guy. That is their man's. They got all the albums. They got all the records. They be when they come on,
all of it.
But they also are the generation who cannot understand so much of all these other things when it's just like if you would have just opened your eyes up and look past the idea of this man being like heavily wanted by women, and like you could have been like exposed to the intro to just sexuality and gender studies, if you will. You could have got a quick class. Could have got a quick course in the way, you know what I'm saying? And I think it is. Like this. And I know because I've, you know, been in conversations where I think I've, you know, challenged people to think about something in certain ways, and it's always interesting because they don't want to go down certain paths. And I'm like, no, we could do that. No, we could do that. I was like, but what? I was like, so how would you be impacted if you learn, like, it's some evidence or whatever came out if Prince was actually bisexual or pansexual even? And they'd be like, I'm like, nah, I can't see it. I'm like, you can't see it? Look, I'm like, I ain't telling you to judge a man by the book, but I'm just saying, like, if that comes out, that'll be the least, like, that'll be the most water is wet situation ever. Like, oh, okay, the man who moans and has written a lot of sexual things and has his ass out and wears blouses, yeah, it makes sense how his sexuality might be fluid too. That kind of makes sense.
Listen, it's to the point where I tell people, Prince damn near, you know, the conductor right before you get on the train?
Yes.
Prince is one of them conductors, bro, on the metro doing one of these. Like come on. It's your move. It's your choice of, like, which letter. But
yeah, everybody don't gotta have no coming out party or nothing like that for them to, you know, confirm or deny anything. That's their business. Yeah. That's their business. But to add to that, and then we can pivot the point. Like, I literally was in a conversation like this in real life where I was saying, like, do you genuinely believe in the 75 years of the NBA that nobody's gay? Like, truly.
I'm screaming.
Like we all got at least two gay aunties and some cousins. What do you like? How can you how can you say for sure? Like, how do you do that then? You think that's on a mailer, on a test, on a survey? Like, hey, are you gay in the NBA?
They know in practice. That's they know. They know in practice.
And that's another thing. Like, come on now. Let's keep it a bean about what it is. I think it's about how it shows up, and that's what would mess people up. But it's like it would affect so much. But it's like also too, it don't gotta affect a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? It don't gotta affect nothing.
Politics. It's the politics, Rodney. I think that the politics of music. I think the politics of sport. I think shit. When you think about all the damn is interconnected with the money anyway. So it's like, who gonna mess up my image?
Who gonna mess it up?
Damn it, let's not mess that up. Somebody gonna mess somebody's image up. So we got to try to figure out how to cover it up. Literally.
Facts. As I said in the intro of, you know, speaking of who you are, you know, how long have you kind of, you know, been utilizing the medium of, like, you know, visual, just the visual in terms of not only just with motion, but also with still art, you know, with photography? How long has that, like, what made that be your medium of choice in terms of growing your brand and to do business and to all those various things? What made that be the one that you wanted to really pour into and present as a whole business?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that question, honestly. When I think about the visual entrepreneur side of me. That damn near kicked off, you know what I'm saying? It really wasn't even a business mindset, but just the creative part of me was just since I was a kid.
Gotcha.
Like I literally, I learned how to play instruments just by watching somebody. I already had that ear and that eye, you know what I mean, growing up. So I'm over here like, when I get older, what I'm gonna do with it? And so I just gave myself, an open palette, open table, open canvas to create what I wanted to. And then honestly, you'll be surprised how like comments or just thoughts of like other people in your family can damn near motivate you in so many ways to where they don't even think that can motivate you. Like I literally had my mom ask me this. I think I was either a senior in high school, getting ready to go into college. She hit me with the, yo, Chelsea, what is something that you can do every single day and get paid for it, but does not feel like it's a job? And when she said that shit, I'm like, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I like to do photos. I like to play music. I like to play sports. You know what I'm saying? But to actually think about the monetary value of my skill, I had to put my foot in the water and just dive into it and take that risk. So, it took a lot of, I hate the word resilience because it's just kind of like, in the midst of like hail, rain, and snow, I'm still gonna keep going. Yes, but who needs to go through like continued struggle to really know who you are? Like once you have planted your feet, you know what I'm saying? Once you planted your feet, really struggle is just a mindset. There's no such thing as you know how they say the struggling artist and all that shit. Like people really used to like coin that and make money on some like.
Look, I need this.
Like, no, I don't need to thirst for it because it's already gonna come, right? You know, the more I keep working, it's just referral. The more I keep working, it's just gonna be advertising through, people's experience type shit. Like people will just be like, yo, Chelsea know how to do this, that, and the third. And I'm over here like, yeah, like, come on, shit, you want to do it? Let's do it. Like I can make those visions come to life. And I'm blessed to say that. Yeah. And so, I feel like it kicked off so young, but like I would say since 16, I really started to pick up my camera and just start roaming, really, literally roaming wherever my feet was in and just started shooting. And then from there, just went from photography and literally this was like 2014. I decided to actually start my brand. Yeah. And then 2 years later of that, so in 2016, I was like, you know what? It's too many niggas that I see online. It's too many people that I know personally that are dope as hell and does not have a platform to tell their story, let alone showcase who they are and their talent. Why not create that space? And so that's where IPR, right? Invisible Podcast Radio came about. So honestly, Rodney, when I think about it, it's really been since like damn near half my life, if not more. And then on a professional level, right? 8 years will be next year in my photography. Rewind. My bad. 8 years in my podcast. 10 years will be for my photography next year. So
facts. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Out here, still going, still grinding.
And kudos to you for, staying at the discipline of, and also that's so deep to point out like how you are opting into a mindset, you are opting into a particular lifestyle. If you say, well, it's gonna probably be hard and I'm gonna have to grind it out and I'm gonna have to probably take some, take bullshit for a while before I'm finally, and I think that says so much about, especially now, how I feel. And I always wonder why people like, like John Michelle Basquiat was such a influence to me. But to know his story is to know that even when he was like, quote unquote, like at the struggling artist, intro phase, he really didn't give that. You know what I'm saying? He really didn't give that. He was like disappointed by it, or there was something wrong.
My man was homeless, bro. Right? At one point.
Exactly. And then like he didn't make it seem like it was something wrong. And as soon as opportunity came his way, he was about his cheese.
Absolutely.
He was about them birds. And he was not mixing his words about what he knew his shit was valued at. You know what I'm saying? Real. And when it came down to time for him to finally get those, get that value back and do certain things, he showed up in a different way. He glowed up out here painting barefoot in Versace suits. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like showing you how like a lot of this shit don't mean anything. Like you would say like, how could I? Well, I'm just getting my shit off. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
it's
Like
real.
I'm
It's real.
really in my own world. That's the only way I can create like this.
That's
And
real. Maybe it's
so,
the Aquarius in me. I don't know. But look, when I tell you my Saturn, Sun, and Moon, I'm
damn,
sorry, and rising, before somebody come at me, my rising, Sun, and my Uranus is in Aquarius. So
damn.
I ain't playing. I'm dead ass.
Yeah.
And then two, you know what I'm saying? Just to also know that like the luxury of, some people, how can I say this, right? Some people go into industries already having shit set out, laid out, made out, cut out, you know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
all you really got to do is just sit down.
Yep.
Whereas I'm over here like, look, let me get my recipe, let me get my materials, let me get my people. Better yet, not all of my people, but just the ones that are driven and like-minded with me type shit. Like, it's just going to create a cycle of growth compared to just stagnancy and complacency. Like, I don't want to just be good with just 4 people, right?
Facts.
Like, I literally know that I can expand my mind outside of just what I was around and what I was comfortable with to even get to a space where honestly they probably wouldn't have even brought me to, right? Because
Facts.
I was already driven to go, and I'm not even say beyond, but just to go higher than where I was before. Like, I wouldn't even be able to hit 8 years or 10 years, really anything, shit, if I would have just relied on the people that I met. If I just would have relied on them, ain't no telling what I would have took me compared to me relying on myself.
Yeah. And that's I think that's a part of the growing pains of everything. Like, people don't know what they are truly allowing themselves to do and how they are picking and choosing based off of where they are in that moment. I think about it all the time now, and it's something that I've had to talk to my therapist about, like the deep feeling of remorse for your past choices, because it might take a minute for you to really get the results, the full results of this choice that you made. You know what I'm saying? Way back when, in the deep and long term friendships and relationships that you've had with people on a deep intimate level, from a context of like certain business moves that you made or opted in or opted out of. Like, sometimes you get the reassurance and and feel vindicated even to know that you did make the right decision, because you see that you felt some type of way and it was some bullshit over there. You didn't know, you couldn't know what it was, but you just like, I'm gonna pass on this opportunity. True. And then it comes out in the wash like, oh, no, if you was associated with this nigga, everybody around this motherfucker is going down. So it's good that because you was about to do a real major part in this thing.
Look, I'm going to add seasoning to that. Damn near, check it out. Shout out to the people that realize once their feet is already in uncomfortable spaces, when to understand when to tap the fuck out and leave.
Go.
If that means you have to disconnect, please do. Because over time, like you say, sometimes you might not really see the result right now in front of you, but it's kind of like patching up a leak with like Band-Aids, my dog.
Facts.
It's only so far a patch can do before you have to literally tear the whole thing down and build it all over again. It don't even have to go that deep.
It don't.
Just know when to get out.
It don't. And I think that, yourself. I would love to know, like, in terms of like when you are actively, continuously to be a creative professional, is such a nuanced thing to be, because you have to manage. It's a part of your job to manage who you are. I think a lot of people do not understand that part about being a creative professional. It's like, you can be this janitor, have a badass day, but still clean everything. It ain't no drop off. You could even be something a little even more technical. You could be a dental hygienist, and you got 15 miles to clean all damn day, and you clean all 15 of your appointments damn near early. You could get off early. That's how efficient you was with your time.
Swear to God.
You going through it in your head though. you going through the most emotional thing in your mind, in your head, because you started your day off really on the wrong side of the bed. Your partner started on the other side of the bed. You all over the place. Your
socks on, they off now. Shit.
You bad. While when you're a professional, when you're a creative professional,
right?
You can't not bring shit home. Like because you always are on. You always have to like use who you are and use parts of you, and that's gonna come out in the work. Like if you are public speaking and you kind of are out of it, you got to really learn how to like detach yourself from the moment. But the fact of the matter is,
you lock your phone.
But think about how much creative shit you do that is an emotional act. You know what I'm saying? Getting in a
Yeah,
zone
that's
to speak out a certain poem or sing a certain song or play a certain instrument. Like you have to like feel the vibe and feel the thing. And it has so much to do with where you at. Like you got to be in a good place to even, so it's like, it's a part of people's jobs.
Yes.
To do their own kind of emotional and spiritual and mental and bodily, you know what I'm saying, management. Like we gotta stay at a high level. Cause if we don't, we not producing, we're not communicating, we're not able to do so many of the other things. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a part of us. We gotta stay on 10 to really get to a whole new level, you know? And it's something about that. I think that it's something about that. How do you manage all these, you know, particular hyphens that you know, that are a part of you? How do you manage all of that and like stay sane?
Yeah, I mean, health is wealth. And when I say that, I tap into mental health, I tap into spiritual health, I tap into physical health. And just hearing you say this, right, it just hits home for me to understand that what I'm doing right now is so critical. Yeah. Like saying no to shit that is not worth it, literally. And when I say that, I'm talking about people, I'm talking about energies, I'm talking about relationships, I'm talking about shit. Anything that involves, I would say, an exchange of me, I'm going to be mindful of where I'm exchanging myself and who, because at the end, that product is going to reflect through my art. It's going to reflect through my career. It's going to reflect through even just how I move day to day, right? Like I got a little side bag right now at another company, but to know that they are investing in me and I'm investing in them to where it's mutual and I can even see my own growth through my own art. You feel me? So what do I look like putting myself, you know what I'm saying? What do I look like putting myself in a situation or an environment that can alter my mental to where I can't even speak or think in the way that I know I can, right? If I see and know things that are not healthy, I'm speaking up, right? And that's a blessing to say, because you got a lot of people to where they are just complacent and content with everything. Some people don't even really know how to articulate their emotions, right? Some people don't even have that ability to even tap into their emotions. Facts. So understanding the layer of how, you know, I would say contentment of the grace that you have with yourself, understanding that it is important to give yourself grace and to be understanding of that, but then to also be a little bit aggressive of your boundaries, right? And to be more standing on what you know is right for yourself. Facts. You know, I ain't even trying to go on the humanitarian side because that's an Aquarius part of me, right? Like I'm always thinking about the people when I'm moving, when I think. Yeah. But then, like, life had to like hit me like, bro, everybody else you got to think about you. And when you do that, you don't have to be selfish about it. Like, people can take that mindset and be like, it's about me. And it's like, fam, actually, no, because without everybody else, you really can't even look into yourself. So let me understand, right, myself more by tapping into what I know I need to feed myself. That's key. And what I need to say yes to, what I need to say no to. That's like key. Literally. That's key. Literally. I
love, you know, that it took me to the, you know, the middle, like my mid early 20s or my mid 20s to really start to like lean into the idea of what my own kind of creative awakening was, because I think prior to I was just existing and creating and not knowing that I was really just a genuine creative person, because it didn't look like something that I was used to. I felt like creative people seemed like they lived that shit on a day-to-day basis. Like they damn near was sad when they're able to pick up a camera or paint something or draw something or sing something. And for me, I feel like I always kind of played this weird, like complimentary ass role, because I'm like, I don't got none of these clear creative talents, quote unquote. That's what I thought. until like I had came out and said that, I was like, to my friends, I was like found all these damn old journals and shit that I had and wrote a bunch of random shit in them, and I'm just like, damn, am I kind of like one of them? I got all these words that I done put together, things I maybe put out, things that maybe I didn't. Either way, I've like done a lot of things, and I just brought it to my friends. It was like, nigga, I ain't never thought you wasn't a creative person. Like, why you think you my nigga? Like, why you think I come to you?
Your homies know.
For the thing, I didn't think that this was something that you was thinking that you wasn't. Like, literally. You are definitely one of the most creative people. I know you always have an idea. Like, you always have something to figure out. Like, you're not just...
That's real.
And like, the way that you speak is a talent. Like, that is some shit that everybody cannot get up and do. So that is very much a thing.
Your homies know you.
You know? And I think for me, I had to understand that. And I think that it made me so empathetic to creative journey as a whole. And I think that I was able to really be able to attune my mind and how I observe certain things and how people show up in their own processes in a different way. And it's helped me so much to be able to relate to people, to be able to consult people, because they're detached from maybe having to do certain things on social media that they got to do to promote their business or promote whatever it is that they, create, and just getting them in the mindset, because I'm a real good equal parts of both. You know what I'm saying? Where I can speak the language and talk to you about like, hey, this is how you can get this done. This is what the feeling can be, but then also turn around and talk to somebody who only knows business and the creative is something they just know they got to have, but they don't really get it. Yeah. I can talk to them and break it down like this is what it is. And I think from a particular comparison analysis, this is already showing to work in the industry right now. Just give you the tangible. Like, doing something like this already happens. Just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Versus somebody else is like, all right, I need you to create this like abstract ass thing, and then we're gonna just slap a voiceover over it, and there it is. We got it. You feel me? You just gotta know how to talk to the people. It's layers, it's layers. It's layers
to the suit. You know what I'm saying? Iron Man don't fly off with just one like literally the time of the suit for it to like fully get on. Like, my man's literally doing one of these for like 5 seconds because he know that it don't make sense for me to take off if like half my suit is like charged and the other half is just still trying to load, but I'm ready to go. Like, no, G. Yeah. It's layers. It's layers and levels.
Yeah. I see being creative. Yeah. I see being creative as a calling for sure. And I think that, you definitely obviously got the bug early, how would you say what would you say is the thing that you prioritize now, after it's been so much time, after you've, have worked with so many different people, what would you say is the thing that you prioritize right now in terms of your creative process or your creative journey or whatever it is that you feel resonates with you with that question?
Yeah. I think to just hit it like straight on the dome, organization, I think is really important because, somebody can literally delay you with whatever they might have going on in their life, but that doesn't mean it's stopping your show, right? When you have things in line to already know what can be done, even without what you thought you need, it's giving you set, because nothing can break you or nothing can throw you off your game. Facts. When you have things written down, I will say that again. When you have things written down, yes, you could type it up. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? You can have Google Docs. You can have all of it. But it hits different when on your piece of paper from the strokes of your own hand and your brain coming together for the ink to make sense when you read it later. You know what I'm saying? Facts. To know that you have yourself aligned in a timeline, but you are controlling that, right? Like the variables of, other people, right? Understanding that collaborations and all of that can definitely happen. That's part of growth as your career as an artist, as a creative entrepreneur, but then to also tap into what you have already like locked in your notebooks. What do you have already locked in your Google Drive? Like what's already set for you to know, even on a marketing level, right? I'm just not even trying to go that deep, but like understanding that if I wouldn't have kept my thoughts organized, I feel like I would be all over the place. Mm-hmm. If I wouldn't have built structure, right? If I wouldn't have built structure for myself, say even by season, let alone by the year, right? Like I don't move in a January to December calendar mindset. Like I don't live by a Sunday through Saturday week, right? You got some people that believe it's a Monday through Sunday. I'm like, to each his own. Look, it's 7 days of the week, regardless. But what I'm not going to do is train my brain in this robotic space that everybody in society is tapping into. So if I'm able to be organized outside of the norm,
nobody stop me, bro, because guess what? Some shit can definitely pop off, say tomorrow with the weather, but that don't mean that I can still not do my shoot somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody might have a whole interview scheduled with me, say 2 weeks from now, that's so critical to where even if they cancel on me, I still know how I can move around and make things happen for myself. So if you are able to make things happen for yourself, even in the midst of things that you can't control, it really taps into the organization that you had from the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
I think that is so key. Because I think shout out to Neo who said this to me. Music engineer, rapper, shaman, if you will, on the south side of Chicago. He said to me one time, he was like, output is everything. He was like, if you feeling low, if you feeling like something's going on, you in a creative block, whatever, like keep on outputting. Because 9 times out of 10, that is the thing that you need to do. That is the thing that you need to progress yourself, to get that next opportunity, to keep just doing it, keep putting it out. You know what I'm saying? Keep finding out those reasons and ways to like put out your work and put out what it is that you say that you want to keep doing. If you are a writer, keep showing people. If you are an illustrator, you keep showing people. It's the not doing it that's gonna you're gonna come to a point where this funk has, the duration this funk has been happening for, let's say 2-3 weeks, and you get to 2-3 weeks and you sitting there like, when the last time I this that, and
it's a double-edged sword,
and it might bring you down even further. Now you already was in the funk. There was already something blocking you from being able to publish whatever it is that you do. Now you realize, and now you like, fuck, like now you might scramble to put something together, to put something out just so you can meet. And I'm very much guilty of this. I think that's why it was something that never really left me, and it's something I always think about when it comes to my productivity. It's like I gotta keep some business. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep putting out some things. And the crazy part about it is when you are doing, the types of things that we do with our own businesses and individually, a lot of shit come to you and keep you busy too. So it's like, as I said in my point before, you really ain't got no, like, if you good at it, you good at being a creative professional, and you've put out that you can, your service can be utilized in various different ways. Motherfuckers want your attention. Motherfuckers gonna keep you in the loop. People gonna give you more and more things to do, and so you gotta kind of maintain so much. But I love the answer to that question, because I think organization is something that we need.
My bad, I got a little excited, bro. My bad. Do your thing.
No. Go ahead. Because it's something. It's something.
Yeah, no, it's just the creative, like, for me, there's the fireworks of this conversation to understand. I'm over here like that one person, like, oh, they shooting fireworks? I'm going to throw some up too. So, like, now we both got, like, crazy, like, just popping up fireworks everywhere going. But anyway, output, like, just hitting at that for the last piece on that. Yeah. So, understanding the double-edged sword of that, right? Because hear me out. You can always be on some, look, I need to always create. I have to always put some stuff out. It's always, for me, I look at it, and I think that's, I don't know if that's another part of my chart and my signs and shit like that when it comes to like seeing things on, I beat up it, right? But like think things on both sides, right? If I keep putting out content, if I keep putting it out, am I proud of everything that I put out? Or should I take my time and like be actually, how can I say this? Like thoughtful and intentional of what I put out, right? Like how is my intention with my output? And so when life gets real, when life gets in moments where like, even with your organized, like say on this week at this time, I'm gonna drop something, life where some shit could pop off to where that might alter it. But how are you still being creative in those moments?
And that's exactly what I mean. That's because because the timing and the frequency is on you.
That part.
But the fact that you are still in process and progressing an idea out of your mind and into the real world, that's what I mean by the output of it all. Like because that's what you realize, like, damn, I haven't wrote an outline, sent an email, reached out, followed up with such and such that I was supposed to,
trail?
like, if you haven't done none of those things to even prepare yourself to output a new thing or whatever it is you say you do, because I get it if each person, each form of, creative, product or deliverable might take different levels of time. Like, somebody can do something in 2 days. Other people, it might take them 2-3 weeks, maybe even a month, and that's cool because the fact of the matter is that all you really need to do is just know what your process, know what your thing is, and keep it going. Yeah. But slight pivot to some words that you wrote on your website that I think would be a good way to kind of like, overall wrap this thing up. But like, you had wrote a self-declaration on your website. And I wanted to really read it out to people because I think it said so much to me. It really like activated me in a real cool way. And it reads, I expose the beauty of reality by documenting the lives around me. As the forerunners of the generations behind us, I believe that it is important for artists to preserve and document the lives of others. We are instruments of influence to our generation as we pursue our journey as creatives. That was cold. You know what I'm saying? You was on your shit when you wrote that. And I think that what a way to kind of like put out to anyone who's coming to work with you that this is the type of time you on. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't bringing in somebody who about to just do you some light shit. You really about to get somebody who can't do nothing but give you some substantive product. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. Like you're gonna feel it. I'm gonna capture these moments. I'm gonna make sure everybody needs to be where they need to be, and it's gonna feel seamless. It's gonna feel good and purposeful. And I feel like that is what a lot of creative professionals want to get to. They're every real good creative professional I feel like I've ever really met and connected with always have some underlying like definitely humanitarian thing going on in the back of their mind that they want to always make space for, create a life around. It's like, I do all this type of work and art, but I do also want to be able to give back. I do also want to be able to provide this thing. I make a lot of money and I can't wait to be able to reinvest in this way. Like, I love that that's always a thing. You know what I'm saying? And I love that that's how you put out and set the tone of anybody who collaborates with you too. I feel like that's absolutely, that's cold as hell. Like it really is.
Thank you.
And I think we need people to let it be known that we're important in that way, and that you can see the exchange of what's about to happen to be just as important too.
Yeah.
No, but
damn. You just had a nigga think like, bro, you out here doing the works. I think for other people to understand it and translate it and how it resonates with them, I think that's the main piece right there. So Rodney, do me a favor, fam. Can I please get this clip?
I got you. I got you.
You got a nigga thinking like, wow, you out here really doing it.
You are. And if nobody has said it to you today, I definitely will. Like you. I just by that being what you want to do to set the tone as to what it is, and because I think so many people can minimize particular mediums and art forms and just approaches in capturing so many things, But there is a way to do it where it's sterile, where it's no feeling, where it's a cool shot or a cool clip, but like I don't really care, you know what I'm saying? Versus you being like truly brought into the world and brought into that moment and like feeling it. I just seen a goddamn Subaru commercial the other day, and I don't know who did it, but it was so good.
Subaru though, they creative as hell with their shit.
And they had a Subaru commercial where they pulled. It was a black dad and the son. The son was, oh my God, and the son was deaf, and he was signing to his dad like, "Are we almost there?" And he was like, "Yeah, we are." And he hit him back in the rear view as he was driving. Hit him back with it.
The sign language back.
And with the ASL, got out the car. He pulled up to a waterfall. His son tapped him and look at him. He was like, "Can you feel that?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can feel it. Yeah, I can feel it too. It's nice, right?" And it's like he felt I'm like, not that I was like, this is the most layered commercial I done seen in a long time. Like you got a black dad. You got an ASL, you got deaf, you got the fact that they having this like father-son moment.
And son, oh my God.
That's just all about like, we just out here just taking in nature. And then just black people in nature, which is always a nice aesthetic. We just don't do it. We just don't get in that bag as often, but we always look good.
Listen,
we always look good.
Like the Disney though. They like the Disney of like fucking marketing, like it just hit. You gonna have a tier somewhere.
You gonna have a tier. You gonna have a tear. You feel me?
Tear.
A tear. You feel me? But no. Let us get to my last segment of the show. What I like to call my Send It On. I'm not sure if you can hear this via Zoom, but when you hear it on the audio and the video, you're going to hear the sweet sounds of Send It On by D'Angelo in the background, my voice right now. But no, my Send It On is, what do you suggest? And I'll give something to, I'll think about it, as to anyone who is in a transitional space creatively and or personally. What do you suggest for them?
Question. One more from me.
What do you suggest to anyone who is in a transitional space creatively and or personally?
The first thing I think about is your why. Why are you feeling like you are shifting? Because that shift is probably challenging you from what you have already been doing for so long, right? Or if you are in a stuck, what is literally stopping you mentally? Again, right? I think it taps back into your mentality. Like, what is literally stopping you mentally from breaking through the freedom that you know you can tap into, right? It just reminds me of like that one kid that's like so geeked to like unloosen their seatbelt to get out the car, right? But to understand that seatbelt is 9 times out of 10 holding them back for either like, how can I say this? You got that one parent that's like, no, you're not taking your seatbelt off until the car is literally parked. You're not taking your seatbelt off until, you know what I mean, the car's literally all of that's like understanding, I'm not even gonna go too far on that tangent, but just understanding what your restrictions are that you've placed on yourself, I feel like. Because it's something mentally that's tapping into that. Because out of all of the shit that's around us physically, out of all the things that can be controlling us that we don't even have control over, right? Like I had to give myself this word of deciding to either exist in, around, or existing and or around something, right? Like to just be complacent, to understand that this is your environment and you are allowing other variables to give you and dictate what you got to do, compared to understanding that even with you existing around something, you have full control over your moves and your decisions. Facts. Right? So I'm thinking about, when, for example, it was a time where, I kid you not, mind you, I didn't have my first camera since 2014. When I tell you, Rodney, my shit went out on me literally this year for the first time ever. But to understand that I could have taken that as, damn, I don't know where my next camera is gonna come from, or damn, I don't have the money right now to just like, up and hold, just go to a camera store and drop it. Facts. Right? But then at the same time, I'm like, hold on, what are my resources? What are let me look at my people around me. Let me look at the support that's around me, because I can decide to stop. But if I decide to move differently, 9 times out of 10, it's because I know what my passion is. I know my why. I know my purpose. And I know what I'm going to do. Right? Like, understanding that this be around me right now, but what's actually going to be created is what I'm going to have control over. So if you feeling like you got a little like stagnancy or something that's like keeping you stuck, it's time to remove some shit and it's time to control some shit.
I fuck with that. And I would say, simply put, to add on to that, is that the liminal space, which is what you call when you're in that transitional space, is one that you should lean into. You're going to grow through it if you lean into it. Don't fight it. Understand that you're there because you need to either move away from what was and go to what is. Yeah. And
trust, you're going through it for a reason.
Yeah. So don't create more resistance that already is already baked into the experience. You don't got to be like, well, I don't understand. I don't know why. I'm so whatever. That's what I say to add to that, and that's that Send It On. Quickly, let me get all of the things so that people can keep following you. Tap in with you, get into you in whatever way possible.
Yeah, sure. Ironically, me and my colleague, we was talking about Snapchat. I don't know, maybe it's an age at this point in life, but
for sure,
y'all can literally follow me anywhere except Snapchat and Twitter. No shade. But catch me on Instagram, honestly. Facebook is only because I know older people that's on there, and that's their main way of communicating on social media. That's the only reason why I got my Facebook open. But y'all can definitely connect with the kid 215 IMGS Instagram. I guarantee you by the time you type in that 50.I, you're gonna see my face, cheese and hard. So you know what I'm saying? Invisible Podcast Radio.
And that's Invisible Podcast Radio. Make sure y'all definitely check it out. What if you don't know, you should know. You can follow me everywhere that podcasts are available. At Kings_Memoirs. You can follow me. Make sure that you also tap in. Make sure that you also tap into all things. Make sure that you also tap in on all things Simply King at Simply King Pod on IG. Make sure that if you need digital marketing or creative production assistance, that you go to my website, www.lifeisking.com, and make sure that you check me out for all of your things. More and more coming this year, more cool things, more cool guests. So keep tapping in. We're about to get into Q4 in a second. So glad to have y'all. I appreciate y'all support. This has been the Soulfully Conscious Podcast from Humans Simply Being Humans. I've been Rodney Perry, and this has been Simply King. Peace.